Yo, like that's insane, right? Like when you're a celebrity, there's certain things you get invited to that I mean, obviously think of maybe going to, but then thinking there's somewhere you're just like, I'd never go there.
Just gotta be aware, yo. You gotta look at the situation, like, you know, it's a lot of rich people too, you know, because they like to have their way, and they think they can just like buy you or like, you know, kind of opportunity you into doing some random, you know, 3-month retreat that turns into like, you know, a lot of obligations.
Right.
But like, you just gotta be aware of that stuff. I think out here people don't think that it's true because they like watch documentaries or they think it's like false because it seems so crazy. But it's like,
how true is it?
It's very true. It's really true. Like people use
beyond Scientology.
Beyond Scientology, they use mental health as like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's the hook.
Yeah, they like they have little mushroom things.
Let's do
they
this
got
shit,
like
man.
ketamine shit that they do, like, and they like use it as like it's good for you, like, you know what I'm saying? But really, they're like.
And people who watch these documentaries always want to think like, oh, I can't get like sucked into that. But it's very easy.
Yes, it's super duper easy.
Garcia said control's like a control thing.
Like a control thing, yeah.
Yeah.
They just want to get you under their thumb, man.
Yeah.
But what do they want to do with you? Whatever.
I never got that far.
To be continued.
I never got that
far. We don't want to find out.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah. And they, you know, I think they come to you as they want to help you. Mm-hmm. People want to help you.
Yeah, they want to be like your spirit guide and all of these things. And it's cool, like on a surface level, you know what I mean? Because when you take what the benefits from it, it's cool. But then when you start going a little bit deeper, you start to figure out what's really cracking.
Mm-hmm. And you start to figure it out real quick.
Yeah. But if you stay on the surface level, you good. Yeah. Like,
surface level meaning what? Just like keep it cool.
Keep it cool. Hi, bye. You know, information. Namaste. Like, you know what I mean?
Namaste. No. That's right. But, yoga mat. The whole shit.
But right. I'm not gonna stay.
Yeah. What's good? It's your boy Black Mirrors TV coming at you with another installment. Now, I hope y'all listen to that very carefully because he spoke on something that I spoke on not too long ago as far as how these people approach you in the cult and try to get you to experiment with different drugs and then take you out to these private islands and places for days and months at a time to then indoctrinate you to these ideologies of devil worshiping and satanic practices, entering you into the Luciferian cult that they are all a part of. All right. Now, with that being said, right, I need y'all to like, comment, share, subscribe because that is the most important thing that you could do on this platform because I am heavily banned. If this video gets 5 likes, we will go ahead and drop another video. All right. I see that y'all like that Michelle Lammy video. It is over 100 views. Shout out to the people who are showing so much love and support to this platform, even though we are heavily banned. This message is going to get out either way. All right. It ain't going to stop nothing. Now, I got some other important news that I wanted to drop in this Wiz Khalifa breakdown that not a lot of people might know about. Okay. So this came across my desk today. And I pretty much knew about this the first time that I did the breakdown on him, but that was like 2 years ago, but I didn't put in the video because I found out afterwards, okay? So I'm like, you know what? The next time I spend a block on this dude, on this goofy, we're going to go ahead and expose this, all right? But first of all, you do see in this occult science video that he is throwing up the devil horns. He would say, oh, it's for Taylor Gang, and we just live this rock star life, and we drink, party, and smoke weed all the time, you know, that's whatever. That's for the surface level people who have not broken the spell or this dystopian mind state of, oh, it's all rainbows and unicorns and everything that these celebrities tell us is true. These folks are nothing more than characters. Do not be confused, all right? So we're going to be talking about the passing of Wiz Khalifa's brother who was in the process of transitioning into a female, all right? Now, I do want to be respectful or whatever, so rest in peace to his sister, Lala Thomas, who died of lymphoma in 2017. Okay, so let's talk about it. Now, when they first broke this news, they lied. All right, they did not put out the truth. Now, when I was heavily into Gematria and was doing it damn near every video, I was exposing how 113 is a number for deception or dishonesty, and then you got things like fake news and all this other stuff, right? Pay attention at the end of this video because we're going to be having a lot of Gematria connected to this, all right? So after Lala learned that she had lymphoma, right, she refused all life-saving measures in spite of her family's pleas for medical intervention. Lala ultimately died of natural causes. Now, I don't believe that that was natural at all for him or her to die from lymphoma. I believe it was due to the fact that he was transitioning into a female, and the medication that they were taking at that time might have had something to do to induce lymphoma in the body and things of that nature. Okay. I think that they would have been okay if they would have just stayed a male or whatever. But it just seems all of a sudden that they want to transition to a female, and then you get lymphoma and you die naturally. There's nothing natural about that, okay? And there's nothing natural about transitioning either. But that goes to show you the push that these folks have on the masses, which is it's okay to do that because in the end goal, they want you to turn into a humanless being. What do I mean by that? They want you to become so dehumanized to where they can then come out with laws to then say, well, you're not even human anyway. So you got to get out or lay down. All right. You got the mark of the beast. You're going along with the digital ID, the carbon footprint. You ain't even going to be able to leave your house because you'll only be able to go outside for about an hour because you're emitting too much carbon emissions. OK, but we'll be able to fly around in lavish jets and yachts and boats and all this other stuff while everybody else is locked up in their house. And you can only flush your toilet at a certain time of the day. And you can only use your refrigeration and washer and dryer and stove at certain times of the day. And if not, then we're going to pretty much add that onto your tab. So the next day you will only be able to use your stuff for 30 minutes because you used it for an hour and a half the previous day. And then it's going to get shorter and shorter because they want full control. And these folks are complete psychos, all right, that run this world. So you see them right there bumping shoulders with Jay-Z. That's somebody that you don't get close to like that if you are not doing your satanic rituals. So he'll sit there and deny it, just like Illuminati, Freemasons. They deny about being in a cult or the Skull and Bone Society or people that are part of the black nobility or whatever it is, right? They will deny it. But whole time they live in this dualistic mind state, all right? They live in duality, okay? So in the public eye, they seem all unicorns and rainbows, but behind closed doors, they are doing cannibalism, satanic, ritualistic practices that involve children, all right, and sodomy. So do not be fooled when these folks say, oh, yeah, I've been approached and this, that, and the third, whoop, whoop, whoop. You are all a part of a brotherhood. You are all a part of the same secret society. So like I said before in the previous video, you might get up to a certain level to where it gets discomforting for you and you are not willing to participate in those certain practices and rituals, okay? And you want to stay at a certain level, okay? Now, you see him right here throwing up the pyramid, okay? Is he a part of Rockefeller? Is he a part of Jay-Z's Rockefeller? I doubt that. I don't believe so. And even if he was, that still would not eliminate the fact that they throw these hand signs and symbols up. One, because it is showing you that they are a part of a secret society or a cult. And two, that these folks worship the devil. Okay. Now, going back to his sister's passing real quick. Okay. In February 2017, Wiz Khalifa and his family suffered a tragic loss. It was then that Wiz's transgender sister, Dorian Lala Thomas, passed away. And I believe passed away is a word or a phrase that they use a lot because it equals out to 33 in Gematria, and also masonry equals 33 in Gematria. So they're letting you know what's going on. You have to give up something to become a superstar like Wiz Khalifa, okay, in the industry and have a long-lasting career. All right. Now, while a cause of death has never been shared publicly, see, this is the one that I wanted to show first because they lied at first and they didn't want to share it publicly because they was trying to get their story together. They always try to get their story together before they come out with their story. And sometimes the ages are wrong. The birth year is wrong. The birth day is wrong. And they'll have like 2-3 different ages that the person died from multiple sources, saying that they died at the age of 35 or 37 or 36. And it's like, well, what's really going on here? Why would you get somebody who passed away's death date wrong? How could you get somebody's birthday wrong, or how old they were when they passed? That's very sensitive information that you're putting out there. So you don't think that it will be common sense to get that right the first time? That lets you know that these folks are psychopaths and they don't care because they sacrifice on a daily. Okay? Now, the 32-year-old's obituary stated that Dorian died peacefully with her mother by her side. And see how they just like conditioning you to believe this twisted ideology that it is a female when whole time it is a whole male who's trying to become a female. So it's supposed to say him or his side. Right now, at the time, Wiz Khalifa tweeted, "The loss of my sibling has been the hardest thing I've had to deal with. But with your prayers and well wishes, my family will get through this." Right? But in that first statement that they made, they said that she died of natural causes and declined all family's intervention, all right, for life-saving medical measures. All right. And then they said that she passed away. He passed away at 32 from lymphoma. All right. And I don't think that any of that was normal for a 32-year-old to just up and die from lymphoma like that. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense to me. And then all of a sudden, you blow up. You're on top of the charts. You have songs with Snoop Dogg. You got songs with T-Pain. You got songs with all of these superstars in the industry. Now, like I said, though, they did a really good job at covering up that story, because I listen to Wiz Khalifa on a daily basis, and I never heard of that story. I never seen anything on the internet about it. I was a huge Wiz Khalifa fan. And, you know, to come back to spin the block on him, like I said, and to see this, it was just kind of shocking to me. It wasn't kind of, it was just very shocking to me, because it's like you put 2 and 2 together and then you figure out that these folks aren't the people who you believe that they were, which is just some innocent stoner kid from the slums of Pittsburgh, right? Who just happened to make it out because he had a cult following after he came out with the song Black and Yellow. And, you know, Pittsburgh was, you know, a really good team at that time. And, you know, it just went hand in hand, you know. And Dame Dash actually spoke on how he had the chance to sign Wiz Khalifa. And before he could, some guys pulled up in a black SUV and told him to get in, and he never seen Wiz Khalifa again. What do you think happened? So you just hop into a car. I believe it was like at a South by Southwest type of situation. And, you know, these people just pull up on you and you just hop in their car and you're never seen again. And then when you come out with, you know, you know, this mainstream song that blows up worldwide. It's pretty crazy. So you know he put his ritualistic practices in. You know that he did what he was supposed to do, and he was pretty much initiated at that point. Now, that is his brother who was in the process of transitioning into a female. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. This stuff starts way before we even get a chance to see it, right? This stuff starts in-house. So these folks get groomed at an early age. These folks are pretty much seeing things, witnessing things already before they get into the industry. That's why these folks are the ones who blow up quicker than others. All right, this was a question before, because it was like, well, how come these people blow up quicker or have a longer run in the industry and these folks don't? It's just like a, you know, high buy situation or a one-hit situation. It's because these folks been getting sodomized and groomed before they even got into the industry. So when they get into the industry and they see all of the devil's playground has to offer, they're not turned off by it. They're like, damn, well, this is all I know. I've been around this stuff. I've been around transgenderism. I've been around bisexualism. I've been around satanic worshipers. I've been getting taken, in the attic or the, basement of my home and been tortured and sexualized and all this other stuff and witchcraft rituals being done to me. So this is normal to me. I feel like I'm at home. And then you mix the drugs into it, just like he was stating in the beginning of the video. Now you have this numbed out, docile, submissive person in the industry who's going to sign a 720, 1080, 1440 record deal. Is going to get completely screwed for the next 10, 20 years. And then that's how it happens for, somebody that has common sense and that's logical and didn't go through all that grooming and sodomizing and satanic ritual abuse before getting into the industry. They're going to look at it and be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do some shenanigans. Yeah, I'll probably go through one of these doors, but eventually I'm finna just go the independent route because I'm going to use you guys to see who you guys outsource and resource and then just do it my damn self. That's what Tory Lanez did. And then you see what happens to somebody like Tory Lanez, like I said, who has common sense, logical sense, and creative sense, right? Using both sides of his brain. And basically took advantage of the game in the best way possible. You know what I'm saying? Did he have to do some funny style stuff probably behind the scenes? Yeah. But he got to where he was to a certain point to where it's like, you know what? I can easily do this on my own. And I believe he came out with like this coin and he sold $1 million worth of it. And he did it all on live and was like, I cracked the code. And after that, you see what happened with him and Megan Thee Stallion. This fake story constructed by Rock Nation to then demonize that man to where he almost lost his life in prison. Okay. And that whole story seemed faked and watered down and manipulated because it is. Because it is the media outlets putting it out. When has the news ever told the truth? Never. We could go all the way back to when radio was first invented, and then they came out with the War of the World story, and everybody was freaking out inside of their homes, closing their windows and barricading up, thinking that the world was being taken over by aliens. So they already knew right from that moment on that they had control of the human race's mind. Okay? So, you see right here, he is putting the P pendant over his eye. I've showed you guys countless numbers of times of these folks covering their eye, putting something over their eye like a flower or a camera or their hand or whatever it is, right? They are showing you that they are a part of a club, a part of a secret society, okay? This is to show you that these folks have and will continue to sell a piece of themselves over and over and over again till there's nothing till there's nothing left. Like they are just complete empty shell of themselves, and they are fully inhabited by a dark spirit or a dark force or a dark energy. This is what Satanism is all about, to be fully taken over spiritually, to have your spirit hijacked by something so dark to where you pretty much on autopilot. You're in a get out situation and you taking a back seat in your own mind and you can see everything going on, but you have no control over it. It's like you watching your own life play out in front of you. Now, like I said, drugs once again have a lot to do with that. Post Malone stated that a couple of times to where, he was laced or somebody gave him something and it was laced or whatever, and he's never felt the same since. And there was this whole thing about how when he came out, after a while of being away, he came out looking different. He lost a lot of weight. He was really skinny or whatever. And there's a difference between being skinny, like on a healthy tip, and from stress. I couldn't really tell if it was from, it looked like it was, done in a healthy way, I guess you could say. It didn't really look like it was from stress. So whatever they did to him, they could have been like a body double and he could have been replaced. could have been cloned, and we all know that cloning is real. They've been making chimeras, mixing animals together since the Egyptian times. All you need is like some type of cell or tissue, and you will be able to duplicate anything or anyone. I mean, even the presidents or it was like the presidents, I think it was Bill Clinton or somebody like that, or Bush, was talking about how they wanted to protect human rights and not allow that to happen. But whatever they tell us is already scripted, and it's like, yeah, we're going to tell y'all this, but we've been cloning people for a minute now. But we're going to come out and say that we protect y'all because we give a damn about y'all, but really they don't. All right, they just telling us that to then lull us back to sleep. Okay, now, Wiz Khalifa is covering his mouth for a certain reason. It's because this is called the vow of silence. Wiz Khalifa will not and should not speak out on the things that I'm telling you all, because they take this oath, they take this vow in their first initiation. I'm talking about in their very first initiation ritual. They will pretty much strip you of your clothes, and in some sectors they strip you of your clothes, or they would lift your pants leg up and expose your left breast. Okay, but in some situations, which is just like a mild situation, they will strip you of your clothes. You'll probably just be in your drawers, or you could just be butt naked. They'll put a noose or like a rope around your neck, blindfold you, walk you around the lodge, and then you'll get to this door in the lodge. They'll walk you in the room, and then while you're still blindfolded, they will tell you you will not divulge any of these secrets, because if you do, we're pretty much gonna teach you a lesson. Okay, they also have a sign called like the penalty, the hand sign, the Masonic penalty hand sign, and that's when you see them with their hand on their chin. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you see that, I'll be showing that soon in the Ozzy Osbourne breakdown. I'll show that in the Ozzy Osbourne breakdown. That's gonna be coming. But that lets you know that they have broken a vow or broken a rule or went against something that they weren't supposed to, and they will be penalized for that. All right. Now you see him right here rocking the blonde hair. Okay, he's had blonde dreads, purple dreads. I believe he's even had pink dreads. You know what I'm saying? But the blonde hair represents that bleaching of the mind. All right. Now this has to do with MK Ultra programming. MK Ultra programming, they told you was real, and that they've done it on over 2 million Americans, and they said that they've stopped. They didn't stop anything. They just stopped telling you. You understand what I'm saying? They just stopped telling you that they are doing these experiments on people. If you have been in the Army, if you have been in the Air Force, or whatever you want to call it, any one of those type of war, military type of sectors, those people will tell you, yes, that is MK Ultra programming. They are stripping you of your identity of who you were before you brought your ass in there, and they are stripping you down mentally, physically. And there's all different types of ways they do that. They fill your ass up with all these type of shots, right? When you get in there, you're getting all these shots done on you, and then they shaving your head bald. Okay, you getting the butterbean, right? And then they downgrade you and dehumanize you by the way that they talk to you. So they breaking you down verbally, they physically breaking you down, they putting all this crap inside your body with these shots. They're shaving your head, they're making you feel less than human, right? They put you through all this rigorous training and all that stuff. It's the same thing like that, but it's just in the industry. So you come in as this regular human being or whatever. You're probably not regular like somebody like Wiz Khalifa, right? You've been around this crap your whole life. You got a brother that was transitioning, so this stuff is normal to you. And I'm going to show you why this is going to tie into what I'm finna show you here shortly with him, like, to his son deep-throating his father's lips into his mouth. Okay, it's very disturbing. Now, back to the industry as far as how they MK Ultra program. They make you into this whole different type of person. They fill you up with these ideologies in your head. They make you attend these meetings, which are very satanic in nature, every month or every couple of weeks. I mean, Bad Baby, pretty much the Outside Girl, Catch Me Outside Girl talked about this, and she exposed this. every one of your top celebrities will attend this meeting. You'll go into like this auditorium or whatever it is, and they'll talk about the agendas and the things that they're going to be spreading on their Instagram accounts and all this other crap. So you might see different people talking about certain things. You might see certain people talking about different things, and they might seem conflicting. Some might seem Christian. Some might seem this, that, or the third, or whatever, right? But they all working for the same end goal, all right, which is to get you to not look at yourself as human and want to be better than human and want to merge with AI and want to put this black goo into your body. And then you might say, damn, black, how do we get from that to this? Because that is the end goal. They want to put this black goo inside of you. That's what the 2020 was all about, with the nanobots and everything inside of those. And then they'll be able to control you or turn you on or turn you off like a robot, because it's going to be connected to the Skynet, all right? And pretty much, you'll be man merged with machine, okay? And you will not be human anymore. That's the transhumanism agenda. You know, 2030 is right around the corner, so I don't want people to get afraid when you hear this. But they are slowly but surely pushing towards that day by day. We're not talking about year by year anymore. We're talking about day by day. They are pushing this forward. And there's certain things that have to take place. There's certain things that have to happen in order for this to come to fruition. Okay, and then people will look at me and say, oh, I'm a conspiracy theorist or whatever. Hey, I'll be that, because everything that I've spoken about is coming to our world. Okay, so you don't need to believe me. Just listen to the video and then look at your news. Okay, I done spoke about digital IDs a couple years ago. I told you that this is going to be coming out. And then what do you know? Just a couple days ago, you know what I'm saying? They came out with digital IDs being used for commercial flights. All right. And who out of all people is sponsoring this? Oh, Apple. You mean the people that have the forbidden fruit on the back of their phone? Yeah. You mean the people who sold their very first Apple computer for $666.66? Yeah, those people. And then they just say, oh, it's a coincidence why we, or it wasn't a coincidence, but it was a totally different reason why we made it that price. Like they didn't know that those numbers meant very demonic meanings. You know, it just don't make no sense, man. It just don't. And then you got Elon Musk trying to play God by blocking out the sun. Well, didn't Bill Gates try to do that not too long ago? And then he went silent and said that he was going to be giving away a whole bunch of money and all this other crap. And wasn't he one of the ones to tell you to get what they was trying to push so heavily in 2020? And then when they start putting the heat on him, his wife left him. He said he was going to start giving away all his money and this, that, and the third. But wasn't he the one trying to buy up all the crops and all the land so that he could then grow this genetically modified food, fruits and vegetables? And then what happened to him? And then now you got Elon Musk, who people didn't like when he first came out and was against it, coming out saying, oh, you know what? We're all for him now. And he's trying to do the same exact thing. People, you better wake up. Now, this is the Gematria aspect of the video. Gematria is Gematria is numbers encoded into their numerical value, okay? Now, what I mean by that is when you put something like whatever type of, you know, phrase or name or anything like that into the calculator, it then formulates it into numbers, okay? So we have the number for dishonesty, which equals 112 in reduction and 113 in reverse reduction. Then we have lymphoma, which is what his brother died from, coming in at 113 in the reverse cipher. Just like Cameron Jabril Thomas, which is Wiz Khalifa's full name, equals 112 in the reverse reduction cipher. So they came up with this dishonest info and put it out there to us like, oh yeah, his brother, his brother that was transitioning into his sister died from lymphoma and passed away peacefully from natural causes. Well, lymphoma is not natural. People are not just dying naturally of lymphoma. Natural causes mean that you just die peacefully with no, causes linked to it, like a heart attack or your heart not pumping enough blood while you were sleeping and whatever. You see what I'm saying? Now, lymphoma, once again, I just want to show this clearly, has 113 in the reverse cipher. All right. Now, what is the reverse cipher? It is the English language going in reverse. So A would equal 1 all the way up until, Z will equal 1 and A will equal 26. All right. Reverse reduction is just the mirror reflection of the reduction cipher, which is the purest cipher in Gematria. All right. The ordinal cipher is the English language going forward. So A would equal 1 all the way up until Z, which is the 26th letter in that cipher. All right. But we can clearly see that lymphoma has 113. Now, I wanted to point out something too. This is like a side note, but in those Disney movies, A113 is what? That chrome. Yeah, that adrenochrome. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, maybe it was like a blood harvesting ritual that they did with her. Maybe they just sacrificed her and said that this was the case. Let's put this out there. But for the ones who know how to use this, which are Judeo-Christians and Hebrews, because they are the ones who came out with this crap, this Gematria calculator, and they use this to then make up these stories. And then when they put out these key words or the way that these folks died or the death dates and all that stuff, when you put them in these ciphers and these death day calculators, you would then be able to see through the veil. The veil will be lifted and you will be able to see what really happened. So continue with me. Saturn death ritual and Wiz Khalifa's full name, Cameron Jabril Thomas, both have 212 in the ordinal and 112 in the reverse reduction cipher. Okay. We have a 2 out of 4 connection here. Now, this is why they did this. It's because Saturn is who they praise to. It's one of their gods, their fallen gods that they pray to, okay? You can also call it Set, all right? It goes all the way back to Egypt, all right, this crap. And I believe it even goes further than that. I think it goes to Atlantis, because when Atlantis fell, all of them people that survived, or the ones who managed to survive, spread out across the world, including Egypt. And that's where you get this fallen knowledge from too, and all these rituals and sacrifices like that. Sacrifice rituals too, okay? Now, Saturn death ritual is something that they do a lot. So when people pass away on Saturday, they're not going to come out with the news on Saturday because they're developing the story to tell you. All right. So then they'll come out with it on that following Monday or that following Sunday and let you know, oh, this rapper died Saturday morning or died over the weekend. And it won't come out with the full story for maybe like up to 30 years, just like they did with Selena, the Hispanic singer. You know what I'm saying? That was popping in the 90s. They just now, after 30 years, came out with her cause of death. That's crazy. It took y'all 30 years to come out with that? So that means they could do anything. So don't be fooled by the media, man. They could tell your ass whatever they want to. Now, Saturn sacrifice equals 67 in the purest cipher, which is the reduction cipher. Dorian Thomas, which was his brother's name that passed away, has 67 in the reduction cipher. And dead at 32, which is the age that his brother died from lymphoma, so they say, equals 67 in the ordinal, man. What else do you need me to tell you? Well, I got more to tell you, because this was a Saturn death ritual, all right? These folks do these satanic rituals all of the time. This is just one that happened to catch my eye, because I'm like, you know what? We got to expose this information right here, because it is very much needed to let people know that Wiz Khalifa is not the person that you think. Now, his name, Wiz, off the top should let you know that he is a wizard. He is a warlock. Okay, he is a part of this ritual, satanic sacrifices that take place. He's all for it. He's all about it. Now, I remember that there was a interview that he did when he was like, you know, on this come up, and he was talking about how his uncle gave him the name or something like that. You know, like he was good at everything, video games, playing basketball, whatever sports, whatever it was, getting girls, whatever he did, he was just the best at it. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, that's a real heartwarming story, ain't it? Yeah, but it gets deeper than that. Now, Illuminati February 20th, 2017, which is the day that his sister died, or his brother, however you want to look at it, and the age that they died, dead at 32, all sync up in Gematria, man. Now, Illuminati has 150 in reverse, just like February 20th, 2017 has 150 in reverse. And Illuminati has 69 in reverse reduction, just like Dead at 32 has 69 in reverse reduction. Now, I wanted to get to saying, before I forget too, when I was telling y'all that his son was deep-throating his dad's lips, okay, speaking on Wiz Khalifa's son. Now, they sexualizing the hell out that kid, man. You know what I'm saying? Your mama is a full-fledged thought bopper, booty dropper. You know what I'm saying? Your mama is a thought bop booty dropper. Everybody done seen her coochie and her booty, you feel me? Everybody done been in her coochie, you feel me, in the industry. She does these slut walks where she's just calling herself a slut, a whore, and this, that, and the third. I'm not calling her that. Let's get that clear. I am not calling Amber Rose none of that. She calls herself a slut, a whore, all those demeaning names, you know what I'm saying? All of that. And she does it. She walks the streets and parades around like, yes, this is what I am. I embody this. So she's embodying that Jezebel spirit. She's embodying the whore of Babylon spirit. That's what she is, and that's your mother. And then she talks about how she walks around her son butt-ass naked, no clothes on. We're talking about a kid, right? So it's just like, we're seeing the MK Ultra connection too as well, all right? Don't want to pass that. We're seeing the MK Ultra connection in Gematria. And then we also see the human sacrifice, Dorian Thomas, and Dead at 32 connection as well, because they all have 67 in Gematria. Human sacrifice and Dorian Thomas has 67 in the most prolific cipher, which is the reduction cipher. And Dead at 32 also has that 67. Okay, so this man was sacrificed. It wasn't nothing else. He ain't died peacefully. He said, you know what? I want my brother to be the biggest star in the world. I'm going to sacrifice myself. You feel me? Whether it went like that, I don't know, because I wasn't there. But yeah, he definitely was sacrificed, right, by the family. Now, like I was saying, Amber Rose walks around her child butt-ass naked and then says, oh, it's okay. You're going to experience this one day. And this is the coochie and this is the lips. This is the... Why are you doing that to your son? Now your son finna grow up freaked out. You have a freaked out ass son. You know what I'm saying? Now... let's get to Wiz Khalifa kissing him on the mouth, because there's many pictures out there of Wiz Khalifa kissing his son on the mouth, and it's crazy. I'm talking about his lips be inside of his son's mouth, which is just wild. Nasty work. Nasty work. Disgusting work. Like, you don't kiss your son like that at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, at all. You feel me? But it starts somewhere, so it must have been going on at home. Right, when Wiz Khalifa was growing up. Now, Blood Sacrifice, of course, and Dorian Thomas and Dead at 62 also connect, because they all have 67 in Gematria, because Blood Sacrifice and Dorian Thomas have 67 in the reduction cipher, and Dead at 32 has 67 in the ordinal. I'm just letting y'all know, this is why I believe that he is a part of the cult. This is why I believe that he is a wizard. This is why I believe that he sacrificed his brother, all right, for temporary material gain, because 20 years really ain't that long. If you think about it, 100 years ain't that long. We used to live way longer than this before the situation in the garden. All right. Now, Illuminati and Taylor Gang, which is his brand, which is the school he went to, Taylor Alderdice, have a 3 out of 4 base cipher connection. All right. They both have 120 in the ordinal cipher, 48 in reduction, and 150 in the reverse cipher of Gematria. Now, I cannot make this up. I don't have the time nor the brain capacity to make this up and make all of this crap fit together. But as you see right here in front of your eyes, this is the case. All right. Now, why he picked this name, I don't think he chose it. I think that is handlers chose that for him. Okay, and said, you know what, yeah, this would be a cool name. That's where you went to school, huh? Yeah, because they knew it fit. They knew that it would be great to go along with the story because it fit in Gematria. Don't nothing move but the numbers, man. Now, this is what I was talking about. You see Wiz Khalifa's lips inside of his son's mouth. It looked like his son is macking him, yo. This is nasty work. I would never, ever do this to my child, let alone. Like, why is you doing this, bro? Your mama walking around you butt ass naked showing you her coochie, talking about this is what it is, this is what it look like, this is what it does. And then you got your daddy kissing you all in your face, man. This is disturbing. But see, this is how they get their kids introduced into this Luciferian satanic lifestyle. You see how it works? The spirit of this sexualized, nasty, devil worshiping crap, this spirit or energy just jumps from one to the next. And how do you think they keep that nasty ass filthy cult going? Oh, they just pass it down to the children. Duh. And you see his mama right here kissing them all on his mouth. So that's why I'm saying, like, this is where it starts. Never kissed my mom on her mouth. Ever. Never kissed my dad in his mouth. What do you mean? Nigga, what? Is you crazy? Oh, man, listen. This is wild. This is out of bounds. This right here is out of bounds. But he think he's so tough. He hanging around with people that bang that blue rag. And I don't know, man. It's just like he just got carried away. He lost the plot, man. Wiz Khalifa lost the plot. But you seem to be a sugar booty doodle digging guy who was a part of a sexualizing cult, keeping that demonic spirit going, passing it down to your seed. And it's just a sad thing to see, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe if y'all enjoyed this video, man. Let me know who y'all want to see in the comment section next. It's your boy Black Mirrors coming at you with another video of Black Mirrors TV, occult signs and symbols, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all stay humble. Y'all stay hungry. And I'm out, man. It's a damn shame. This is sick work.